Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on Nationwide this Thursday, and we are reaching you live from the Federal Capital Territory. I am Hawa Salihu Adama. Our starting point today is the National Sports Festival ongoing in Edo State. The Presidency, Minister and Governor of Edo State Reserve Fund issues a National Sports Festival and the Games continues. Let's hear details from Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad.
48 years on, Edo State is now hosting the 20th edition after a series of postponement due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, barely 24 hours after the opening ceremony, the narrative is changing with a notice to suspend the festival by the local organizing committee, claiming the federal government is yet to redeem its pledge of providing funds to cushion the series of postponement due to the pandemic.
We believe that, yes, there's an approval, even when we don't know what was approved. But at least there should be full commitment.
A development that the athletes describe as a setback to the nation's sports sector if carried out, especially that the Tokyo Olympic is around the corner.
This is Nigerian Olympic, and if something like that happens, I don't know how the sporting world will look at this nation as unserious people.
All happy, and we hope that at the end of the day, the spirit of sportsmanship will unite us. And the reason why we have the sport festival was because of 1973, to bring everybody together as one. We'll continue getting it anytime we have the sport festival.
Although the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development responded that the championship is going on as planned, but the Edo State government insists on shutting down, though shifted for 24 hours. This is, however, the new development from the minister.
This morning, the Honorable Minister has met with His Excellency, and all issues surrounding the games are resolved. The Presidency has further called to assure His Excellency the Governor. As we speak now, we're in the afternoon. The breaking news in the morning was that the games will be stopped by 12 noon. The games have not stopped, they're ongoing.
From Benin, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
And NTA Sports has been following the Edo 2020 Sports Festival. And we now join our correspondent Femi Johnson at the Samuel Ogbemedia Stadium in Benin City to give us an update on events as they are presently. Hello Femi, if you can hear me, where are we as regards the sports festival? Okay, I guess we seem to be having some issues there with Femi. In the meantime, let's have more on sports with Kene Emagbodike.
Over 200 young basketballers based in Abuja have completed a 3-day training program under the auspices of Jordan Nwora Foundation aimed at sharpening their skills for competitive engagement.
All we need is just more organizational camps like this. For the grassroots, the sacrifice, you're making all these kids, they're enjoying themselves with the short period of time we have here.
The Nigerian Hockey Federation is planning robust preparation ahead of the 11th edition of Men's and 8th Women's Africa Cup of Nations, both slated for Accra, Ghana in January 2022.
I can honestly assure you that the future of Nigerian hockey rests in the hands of the youths, the kids, the age group competitions.
As more Nigerians continue to receive their Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines, Chairman of Kogi State Handball Association, Saidu Jibril, calls for increased grassroots tournaments following series of compliance with Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 guidelines on safe return of sports to full capacity.
So many co-guys who played for other states. So that shows that we are growing in the game of handball. Our dream now is how to harness these boys and girls, keep them in one place to protect the interests of their fatherland.
Meanwhile, the Federation of Public Service Games, FEBSGA, commends Kano State Government for the successful hosting of the 39th edition of FEBSGA Games, even as it prepares for the resumption of 8th monthly walk and joke exercise in May.
We are believing that the standard of last year will become a reference point for any governor that will accept to host us this year.
FEBSGA has over 100 members across the country. With sports update, Kenan Ima Abodike, NTA News.
Now I understand we can rejoin Femi Johnson in Benin City to give us an update of events regarding the ongoing 2020 Edo Sports Festival as they stand currently. Hello, Femi. Can you tell us where we are as regards the Sports Festival today?
Let me say that the good news is that all the issues surrounding the suspension of the National Sports Festival is now over. The presidency has intervened, and the intervention has made all parties to believe that everything can work well, everything can go on well. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sports, who also doubled as the chairman of the main organizing committee, addressed the press about 2 hours ago, where he told the press that the presidency intervened. They spoke with the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and everything is going on well. I am at Samuel Ogundia Stadium at the moment, and life is in the stadium. Everything is bubbling. All athletes are moving from different place to the other. To my left, you will see that even the tennis court is busy. 10 singles events have already been played at the tennis court. We have 5 men's single and also 5 women's double. As I speak to you now, the deputy governor of Edo State, who incidentally is the chairman of the local organizing committee, that is Mr. Philip Schreiber, is also watching kickboxing. And so if we talk about 12 o'clock deadline, that is over. He's watching kickboxing, and at the Uniben, Langa is also going on. So tennis there, Samuel Egbemudia, kickboxing going on, and also Langa also on. So the National Sports Festival in Edo State continues.
Thank you very much, Femi. I was actually going to ask you about the mood, but you seem to have given us good news. So thank you. We hope to see more coming in from Benin. Thank you. Moving on, the imperative for Nigerians to be patriotic in utterances has been noted as necessary in seeking genuine answers to the present security challenges confronting the country. Joseph Hussein reports that this echoed at an engagement between the National Peace Committee and interest groups in Abuja.
Taking a critical look at why insurgency continues to persist, kidnapping is on the increase, and recent trend of attacking security personnel and facilities in some parts of Nigeria is the reason these stakeholders converged. The brainstorming forum is at the instance of the National Peace Committee, and first to be engaged are government functionaries including heads of the National Assembly, Governors Forum, security agencies and traditional institutions. They interface with civil society organizations, media houses and other stakeholders.
We need to work towards ensuring that we douse tension and we get these people who are agitating for the break of the country to see reason not to continue with their agitations.
I want our eminent leaders here to look into the involvement of international community in the ongoing insecurity in Nigeria.
There's a lot of separation going on along our coast, very seriously. So we need to have the Navy going out there.
For members of the National Peace Committee, there is no silver bullet to solving Nigeria's security challenge, hence the need to listen to different views.
We should not only share our collective lamentations, but propose some concrete suggestions that can inspire more confidence among our people.
A couple of the media people, they believe that only bad news sells. So I think we need to be very, very careful.
We as leaders, we have to know that we are going to account for this leadership God gave us. So please, let's put aside sentiments.
Recommendations at the meeting are to be presented to President Muhammadu Buhari, who the chairman of the committee says gave his support to the initiative. Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Meanwhile, issues of true federalism and national restructuring took center stage at the first conference of Northern political scientists held in Jigawa State. Mohammed Musa Askira reports that speakers at the event said the call for restructuring will not in any way affect the unity of the nation.
The conference has attracted political think tanks from the northwest geopolitical zones of the country and beyond. It is another move to finding a lasting solution to the country's political challenges and give it a clear navigation for equitable development.
A restructuring that can actually serve the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. A restructuring that is going to be built upon the constitutional setting of the country.
We will appreciate whatever decisions, recommendations that will come out of this conference for onward transmission to both Northern State Governors Forum and Nigerian Governors Forum, and also to our members of the National Assembly.
When they say true federalism, they are only saying a federalism that favors their own region. We are practicing democracy. And there's a constitution today in this country that most of the actors that called for this thing have forgotten that, look, you need at least to propose a bill.
Most people are just wasting their time, making noise, without refusing to follow the right procedure to amend the constitution.
They noted that true federalism can only be found in the context of equitable distribution of powers and national resources amongst the national and subnational political units. These, according to them, will include concerted national efforts towards eliminating the deep-seated mutual suspicion and lack of trust among citizens in the country.
From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has applauded the First Lady of Nigeria for her steadfastness and genuine commitment to complementing government efforts towards uplifting the lives of Nigerians, especially women, youth and children, as well as other vulnerable members of the society. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the Vice President said these during the presentation of the book titled Aisha Buhari, Being Different, authored by Dr. Hajosani, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration. The Vice President recommends the book for all academic purposes for the betterment of the society. Let's now head to Lagos, where Jennifer is on standby with more reports. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Hawa. Now, the Nigerian Navy has received the Spanish warship Foro to improve capacity in monitoring the maritime environment. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, while receiving the naval officials at the command base in Apapa, stated that the visit is in line with the naval responsibility as a universal service to collaborate and cooperate in areas of maritime operations. Imole Ayotukede Ogufowora has details.
This visit by the Spanish Consular General, Joan Otero, and the commanding officer of the Spanish naval ship, Lieutenant Commander Diego Mendoza, to the Western Naval Command is geared towards strengthening the diplomatic ties between both navies. As part of achieving this, the navies will be embarking on a combined 2-day at-sea exercise to develop capacities that will improve maritime awareness and response in the Gulf of Guinea.
We have one important mission, that is to collaborate with all the navies in the area, and one important navy in the Gulf of Guinea, maybe the most important one, is the Nigerian Navy. And as brothers at sea, we are trying to organize some exercise together.
This collaboration, the FOC says, is expected to yield profitable results in terms of improving security as well as strengthening their relationship.
Over the last 2 years, this is the 4th Spanish Navy ship that is visiting Nigeria. It is expected that this visit will lead to further consolidate our relationships. For our officers, our personnel can visit Spain for training, and it is hoped that somehow, in a reciprocal way, the Spanish Navy too will be coming over to Nigeria for some visits that will tend to end up in training.
4 Nigerian Navy ships, alongside the Spanish naval warship, are to partake in the exercise. In Lagos, Imole Ayotukede Ogunfowora, NTA News.
Now, effective collaboration, love, and willingness to assist one another have been identified as key to curbing the menace of rape and other vices against women. This was the main central feature of discussion at this year's International Women's Day celebration organized by the Nigerian Labour Congress in Lagos. Diana Ajale reports.
Women from all walks of life and women groups under the Nigerian Labour Congress, Lagos State Chapter, gathered not only to celebrate women, but to also chart the way forward on the issues threatening womanhood.
It is time for us to rise up and be well focused. And the only way we can be well focused is by coming together, loving each other.
Women should come together to challenge the Hydra head that is always working against the women's peace.
Issues raised include the alarming cases of rape, kidnapping of school children in most parts of the country, especially in the northeast, insecurity among others.
Hence, the perpetrators are having a field day, but if they should be meant to face the wrath of the law with expediency, I think it will serve as a deterrent to others.
We are not competing with a man, but then we are taking the challenge and we want to rectify a lot of abnormality that have been happening.
They need to be celebrated, if possible, every day, because their contribution to the society can never be equated with anything.
In her message to the event, wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, says there is no better time to protect the rights of women than now and stamp out gender-based violence. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And on rail transportation, although the prospects of creating job opportunities along the Lagos-Ibadan rail corridor are high, some Nigerians are currently benefiting from the ongoing construction work. In the midst of this, there are indications that more trips will be added with plans for enhanced travel experience for passengers. Michael Olaleye reports.
While the train service along the Lagos-Ibadan rail corridor continues to excite passengers, the urgency to meet the deadline at the train stations is visible. At the imposing Ebute Meta station, the magnificent 6,000 capacity building is nearing completion thanks to the relentless efforts of workers like Clemens Chinedu. He is one of the 850 workforce who can explain in bits the evolution of this magnificent edifice. His joy is not solely due to the fact that family benefits from the proceeds he makes, but he is proud to be part of the revolution in the rail subsector.
From the beginning of this project, I did not think the project will be like this, but it marvels me when I saw the structure of the building.
On the tracks, the urgency to increase the number of round trips is inevitable, given the surge in patronage. However, this challenge will not outshine the overwhelming successes recorded so far.
We need to get the stations up and going, because when you are traveling, you also want to have a station experience.
And also information in respect to the area of schedule, so that people would know the exact schedule.
Flexibility is key to enhanced travel experience, and the Nigerian Railway Corporation says it is working to establish a one-stop shop along the rail corridor.
Any moment from now, the second trip is going to start. What we intend to do is what? One is leaving Ibadan, one is leaving Lagos. They cross themselves. In the evening, we do the same. We're also looking at bringing in some stations in between. For example, Agege.
Although expectations are high for the robust rail subsector, the hurdles already crossed surpass those ahead. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
A commercial break is next, after which Hawa will continue in Abuja. Stay tuned.
As Oni of Ife, as someone who cares about the well-being and safety of our people, it's time for each and every one of us to realize that COVID-19 is real and it has killed millions of people around the world. Scientists have developed this vaccine The vaccine is safe for everyone and it contains no microchip, nor can it alter our DNA. However, we must continue to stay safe and stay clean, wear face masks, clean our hands on a regular basis, and try as much as possible to avoid a very large crowd and gathering. For those who choose to be vaccinated, it will go a long way in protecting yourself and your loved ones from COVID-19.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher, you I fell a one project. Teacher, you I fell a one project.
The premiere of the new season of The Village Headmaster, initially scheduled for the second quarter of 2021, has now been postponed till further notice. We apologize for this short notice and promise to keep our viewers and advertisers informed as soon as we have a new date.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. We are trying, Shao.
With the top four back in sight, Liverpool welcome Aston Villa to Anfield in what could be a tricky tie for their Champions League ambition. Will it prove a costly visit for the hosts? Find out as Liverpool take on Aston Villa on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. this Saturday. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's Nationwide. Now to politics. The National Legal Advisor of the People's Redemption Party, Dr. Suraju Yakubu Batagarwa, alongside his supporters, have decamped to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Shehu Adamu reports that the PRP National Legal Advisor received the APC membership card at his ward in Batagarwa local government area of Katsina State.
Receiving his membership of the All Progressive Congress Party at Batagara Ward A, the former PRP National Legal Advisor, Dr. Suraju Yakubu, said he decided to come to the ruling party after considering his personal conviction and concerns. Dr. Suraju Yakubu said he is comfortable with the numerous achievements recorded by the ruling APC both at state and national levels.
APC is known for its discipline. And wherever there is a crisis, the party always tries to resolve the crisis democratically.
Dr. Suraja Yakubu therefore commended the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in fighting corruption and insecurity in the country. Chairman All Progressive Congress Batagarawa Local Government Chapter Bala Tsanni assured the Dikampis of equal treatment as party members. Dr. Suraja Yakubu decamped to the APC along his team in supporters who pledged to work tirelessly for the success of the party at all levels. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State and Chairman PDP Governors Forum has emphasized that all political actors work together genuinely for a lasting solution to the security and economic challenges before the country, irrespective of party affiliations. Tambuwal made the remarks at a sympathy visit to Zamfara State over the inferno that raised in March that raised a substantial part of the Tudunwada Gusau market. Haliru Mohammed Umar has more.
Delegation of the PDP Governors Forum led by its chairman and Sokoto State Governor Amin Waziri Tambuwal was at the Zamfara State Government House on a sympathy visit over the last month inferno which raised more than 60 shops at Tudunwada Gusau market. Members of the delegation include governors of Rivers, Taraba, Adamawa, Bauchi and Oyo states. Tambuwal, who on behalf of the PDP governors identified with government and people of Zamfara State over the tragedy, stressed the need for all political actors to genuinely work together towards finding lasting solution to the security and economic challenges bedeviling the country.
And we're here as your brothers, we're here as your children, friends, to commiserate with you and to tell you that we are standing by our brother. Come rain, come shine. We are with you. We are with our brother. Whatever affects him affects us.
Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad thanked the delegation for what he termed as timely visit, which will further strengthen the bond amongst them.
And the people of Zamfara State appreciate this visit, and particularly the support that collectively you have given to the victims of that fire incidents. We thank you very much.
During the visit, Tambuwal announced the PDP governor's donation of 100 million naira to support the victims of the Tudunwada Gusau market inferno. In Gusau, Haliru Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
Still staying in Sokoto, let's hand you over to Sadia in our network center there.
The Maria Amin Waziri Tambuwal initiative has distributed relief items to some families destabilized by banditry. Sheikh Muhammad Datti has more.
The internally displaced persons are those that are badly affected by banditry. Wife of the governor, Maria Amin Waziri Tambuwal, decided to reach out to these families to alleviate their sufferings, as majority of them have lost everything to banditry and are now squatting in the houses of their relatives in Sokoto metropolis. Wife of the governor's team moved from house to house to deliver the relief package. Items presented to them include mattresses, blankets, mosquito nets, and hijabs, among others. The governor's wife, represented by the Sokoto State PDP women leader, Haja Kuluraba, commiserated with the affected families, adding that more will be done to assist the victims, urging them to see their condition as a will of God. The internally displaced persons expressed gratitude to the governor's wife for coming to their aid. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Now, the Maria Mairo Amin Waziri Tambuwal Legacy Initiative, in collaboration with Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency, has assisted over 100 internally displaced victims of banditry from Sabon Birni and Isa local government areas with relief packages. Sheikh Muhammad Datti again reports.
Allah Ubangiji shi taimaka mana, shi taimaka mata, shi taimaka ma jama'a musulmi, alhamdulillah, marayu sun gode.
Life had been tough for Inno Aliyu, a widow and a mother of 7 orphans and others like her. They are victims of banditry attack from Sawambini and Isa local government areas of Sokoto State. At this event, each of them received a bag of rice, mattress, nylon mat, bucket, blanket, mosquito net, and detergent, as well as a guide on gender violence and distress-free life by Muat in collaboration with Sokoto Emergency Management Agency. Founder, Muat Legacy Initiative, Maria Mairo Amin Waziri Tambuwal, said this is aimed at bringing Thoka to them, pledging to do more.
To see the immediate support we can give to those people, especially after investigating and seeing the horrific place that they live in. And that's why we decided to come up with this joint distribution program.
Guests at the occasion commended the founder for her foresight, stressing the need for well-to-do in the society to emulate her.
Inshallah, it will continue as it has a good faith about it.
The foundation is committed to making a positive impact on the lives of the less privileged in the society. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's now back to Hawa in Abuja.
Very well, Sadia. Many thanks. And moving on, the Nigerian Correctional Service Imo State Command has confirmed the return of 87 inmates of the custodial center who escaped from the facility following the attack by gunmen. Miriam Vincent Oko reports that the command's public relations officer, James Maduba, made the clarification in Owerri.
The attack on the Imo State Custodial Center resulted in the escape of over 1,800 inmates following the declaration of the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, on the willingness of the federal government to pardon voluntary returnees. Some inmates have begun to respond positively. According to the Imo State Public Relations Officer of the service, James Maduba, 87 out of the 1,844 inmates who escaped from the custodial center have so far returned as of Thursday morning, April 8, 2021. On efforts being made to ensure that others return voluntarily, the state PRO says public service announcements have been made requesting assistance to report any such case to the nearest police station for necessary action.
Escaping from the custody unlawfully is another offense, so which attracts going to recharging the person back to court. But from what the Honorable Minister said, if you come back on your own, you will never be charged to court for escaping.
It is expected that more inmates will return to the custodial center in the coming days. In Owerri, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
Meanwhile, tension heightened in Abia State over gunshots allegedly by security operatives around the police area command and Ama Ogbonna in the early hours of today. Governor of Kaduna State, Governor Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai, has described the town hall meeting held earlier today as a positive platform to draw up consensus necessary for the collective action to ensure the nation and its people, to secure the nation and its people from criminal elements and their nefarious activities.
An abduction is unacceptable. We are in a war with these terrorists who are challenging the sovereignty of the Nigerian state and its monopoly of the instruments of coercion across its territory.
Governor El-Rufai noted that security forces must collaborate to take on the war against bandits and abductors, recover and restore forests they occupy to put an end to their activities. Still staying with security matters, a police public complaints committee to investigate and address brutality and rights infringement by personnel of the Nigerian police force has been inaugurated by the Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Meigari Dinyadi, in Abuja. Francis Fong has that.
The committee is in response to the October 2020 NSAS protest triggered by allegations of police brutality. The objective, according to the Minister of Police Affairs, is to serve as an institution that oversees the activities of police personnel in relation to their interactions with the public.
The idea is to put in place a permanent structure that will help to effectively nip in the bud civil unrests with the undesirable or concomitant effects and destructive tendencies by providing the populace with opportunities to channel their grievances on the misconduct of police personnel to to the appropriate quarters for necessary action.
On his part, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Police Affairs, Temitokwe Fashedemi, pointed out that the move is geared towards transforming the police for effective and enhanced service delivery.
The Nigerian Police Force, as a public institution, is in place to serve the people. Therefore, those that have been lucky to be recruited to man all public institutions and are paid from public funds have to ensure that they are citizen-centered in their approach at all times.
The committee, whose membership is drawn from several security agencies and the civil society, will be chaired by the Ministry of Police Affairs, while the Police Inspectorate Department will serve as secretary. Francis from NTA News.
And with the rise in cases of criminal activities across the country, the Ondo State Police Command has promised its readiness to reduce crime with a robust synergy with other security agencies. To achieve this, the police urges the public to always furnish security operatives with information at all times. Toyin Batiri has more.
Last couple of weeks, a number of criminal activities have been recorded in various parts of Ondo State, with security agencies living up to expectations by smashing criminal gangs, rescuing kidnapped victims, and arresting criminal minds. The security agencies, including the State Security Network, codenamed Amotekun, during the Easter holiday, arrested 3 people with ammunition and charms and rescued 3 travelers from kidnappers.
Some very hardcore criminals that were arrested, some with combined efforts of the police and other security agencies, some from the police tactical teams.
Community police is very good. Community police is like a grassroots. Community policing is the best.
The police assured members of the public of adequate security of lives and property. In Akure, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
The Department of State Services has denied news report by the Sahara Reporters that it tortured Saidu Afaka, the president's official driver, to death. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunaya, indicates that Afaka was never arrested or detained by the service. The statement further explained that the service does not touch a suspect and that its suspects and handling methods is usually in compliance with the tenets of the administration of criminal justice system and democracy. The service wishes to remind the public that the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malan Garba Shehu, had on April the 6th, 2021, announced the passing of Afaka after a prolonged illness, as well as the condolences of the President to his family. It's now time to join our Port Harcourt Network Center, and Gabriel will guide us. It's over to you.
Sometimes some stories are quite difficult to tell, just as unraveling the mysteries gets so intriguingly complex. One of such is the story of the East-West Road, the flagship project of the Niger Delta Affairs Ministry. The project for years has been yearning for completion. Finally, work on the multi-purpose road has begun. Jenny Bassi brings us this.
The East-West Road in time past used to be a nightmare to motorists and travelers who spend 4 to 5 hours to cover a distance that ordinarily should not exceed 8 minutes because of the bad portion of the road. Fading into the distance used to be a long stretch of vehicles stuck in a gridlock along the road. Heavy-duty and small vehicles were often trapped in many failed portions of the all-important road that connects Bayelsa, Delta, and other states of the Niger Delta. Today, the people have heaved a sigh of relief as work on the East-West Road has begun.
For years now, the East-West Road has been a death trap, but we thank God that the government have been able to put it in order.
And as you can see, the renovations are going on. Before it used to be ethic. As the renovation is going on, it's a good thing.
It's good for everyone within this environment, actually. But I would prefer they move down to that Impoli Junction.
The road
bill to be completed at the end of this year is done in phases.
At the east-west road, left-hand side from the project, now we need to link with the other place where we stopped work before. And this work it will be by the ending of this year, by God's grace.
We started 5 kilometers, then right closer to Uniport, that teaching hospital junction. That is where we are starting today. And we are laying as far as wearing course is what we are laying by the right side of the road. From that particular point, I've told you to Birikwere, where we want to start off for now.
It will be recalled that the federal government last year released billions of naira for the completion of the East-West Road, and the reality of the present reflects that. In Port Harcourt, Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
As the rainy season commences in the south region of the country, farmers in Akwa Ibom State are in high spirit for farming as government distributes improved seedlings for cultivation. Evelyn Bado Epo reports.
Improved varieties of seeds and seedlings ranging from cassava stems, plantain suckers, maize vegetables were given to the farmers to enhance food production across the state. The improved variety of seeds and seedlings will not only ensure timely planting, but guarantee the quality and quantity of crops to be planted. The farmers expressed appreciation to the state government for sustaining federal government's food sufficiency drive by provision of the needed farming inputs every planting season.
Whether you are a trader, you are this, you are that, you still go to farm. You like to have your own things that you bring from the farm to eat in your house.
We are glad to receive this input from the state government. We appreciate the governor.
The cassava stems distributed is capable of producing 25 tons of cassava per hectare, and farmers were charged to make good and proper use of the seedlings and stems for maximum yield.
Some of you that I know you have big farms. When you come, we'll direct you to where you can get the improved varieties that are there. We didn't want you to go and keep them for so long.
Agri stakeholders encourage Nigerians to see farming as a viable source of income to sustain food production. Farmers and intending farmers were also encouraged to key into the different agri-value chains to ensure food security. In Uyo, Evelyn Badu Epo, NTA News.
That's our beat from Port Harcourt. Nationwide continues after this break.
Contemporary times require practical skills to remain competitive and relevant in your organization. Therefore, take advantage of NTA TV College short proficiency courses to sharpen your professional skills. Basic Broadcast Accounting and Auditing. Date 19th April to 30th April 2021. 2 weeks. Audio Engineering, Operations and Maintenance. Date 19th April to 23rd April 2021. 1 week. Protocol, Event Management and Public Relations. Date 3rd May to 14th May 2021. 2 weeks. Intermediate Camera Operation Techniques. Date 17th May to 11th June 2021. 4 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week course is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 40,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all the courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
NTA News 24,
A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
Star Times channel 101 and Free TV channel 703.
Join us.
With the top four back in sight, Liverpool welcome Aston Villa to Anfield in what could be a tricky tie for their Champions League ambition. Will it prove a costly visit for the hosts? Find out as Liverpool take on Aston Villa on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. this Saturday. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for staying. It's still nationwide. More than 14,000 people, including frontline healthcare workers, have received their jabs of the COVID-19 vaccine in Taraba State. Adamu Haruna reports that the exercise is still ongoing.
Taraba State received 56,250 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines. The doses are for the frontline healthcare workers, security operatives, and members of the strategic leadership groups. Administration of the vaccines to the targeted groups has been ongoing in the state.
Initially, we are looking at it maybe it's painful, but it's painless.
Very important that they should hurriedly come and do things. This thing is real. COVID-19 is real.
He was telling people that this needle is painless. I didn't know when the man has injected me.
More than 28,000 people are targeted by the exercise.
All the local governments have complied and immunization is ongoing. We have been able to vaccinate over 14,000 people.
He, however, laments that the ongoing strike by the organized labor in the state has actually affected the COVID-19 vaccination, but expresses hope that the required number of people will be vaccinated before the exercise is over. In Jalingo, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
And our Jos Network Center is next on our lineup today, and Frama is our guide. Hello.
Hello, Hawa. Thanks for joining us in Jos. To manage the upsurge of crimes and criminality and contain further threats to peace and security across various communities, government should collaborate and support activities of community policing to achieve this feat. This is one of the resolutions of a training on community policing in Jos. Saadatu Mohammed Kafa has details.
The mandate of the Neighborhood Watch is to secure and tighten security across flashpoints and ensure public order in various communities with support from state actors. The workshop, which has at its theme enhancing community policing in our neighborhood, is to acquaint participants with basic rules of engagement when handling cases.
The saying information is power. We believe that if they have the information needed, they will function effectively in the community.
Stakeholders unanimously agreed that imbibing professional conduct of intelligence gathering and investigation will go a long way in enhancing their activities.
Therefore, we must have a way to make your system accountable to the people. Being accountable to the people means that you must work within the rules and regulations set aside for the establishment of the neighborhood guard.
Now, who are the people behind this? When you begin to work on your brain, ask yourself questions that will now push you into going to do what we call profiling.
The participants were drawn from various communities within Jos South local government area. In Jos, Saadatu Mohammed Kafa, NTA News.
The Industrial Training Fund is appraising its targets towards achieving its corporate responsibility. Ekeme Renkan and Ladoja reports that the performance review of the year 2020 attracted top management staff of the fund from across the country. The report.
For the Industrial Training Fund ITF, the year 2020 was challenging as it was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic like most organizations.
Empowering nations' human capital for prosperity is therefore asked and was carefully selected to reflect the current realities, imperative for diversification, necessity for performance review and appraisal, with the view to providing an in-depth analysis of the fund's activity and performance in the preceding years.
Set to train over 7 million Nigerians in agriculture, construction, ICT, manufacturing and service sectors between 2021 and 2031, the ITF was amongst the agencies the federal government requested to make submissions on lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years.
This meeting is therefore critical and crucial and quite timely as it provides us with the opportunity to thoroughly address this issue, to find lasting solutions to the problem, for us to take advantage of the opportunities that will certainly open up in the economy as the country comes out of COVID-19.
The theme of the year 2020 Corporate Performance Review meeting is Empowering the Nation's Human Capital for Prosperity. In Jos, Ekimarian Kaneng Laduja, NTA News.
This is Nationwide. The news continues with Hawa in Abuja.
Very well, thank you. And the suspension of court proceedings and other legal matters at the Ogun State Judiciary continue as members of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, Ogun State Chapter, stayed out of work over non-implementation of the judicial autonomy. Abo Lauren Ogbara has a situation report from Abeokuta.
Litigants and others who came to the Ogun State High Court, including magistrate courts in Ishabo area of Abeokuta, were disappointed as the gates leading to the premises were securely locked up, while leadership of the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria manned the gates to ensure that the strike is effectively complied with. The union leader said the strike, which is indefinite, is to press for the implementation of the Executive Order 10, signed by President Muhammadu Buhari on 20th May 2020, granting autonomy to state judiciary.
That three arms of government should be separated. Let each section act at its own capacity.
Nigeria Bar Association, Abeokuta branch, described the action as setback to quick dispensation of justice.
At this particular period in time may not be good enough for all workers to down tools, because it will affect the cases in courts from being heard timorously.
While the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria is on strike over judicial autonomy, their counterpart, the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, is yet to resume its strike over autonomy for state legislatures as Ogun State House of Assembly complex is deserted. In Abeokuta, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide today. We thank you for watching. Do connect with us here at the NTA as we stand against rape and rapists. Good evening.